Okay, um, you've seen this project before. We basically took the existing project that we had, and it was um, Ktor using exposed serving REST, which was neat, and it was really a tool for me to learn um, Ktor. So I wanted, oh, and you can, it basically just has a whole bunch of books and authors. So I can do a hit endpoint for book, and you'll see a whole bunch of book information. Um, I added a many-to-many relationship and Expose handling that wonderfully, which is nice. But I really wanted now to conquer something that I haven't been able to get working. I haven't been able to get multi-platform and React playing nicely under one module. So I've got them working together in other projects, but it was always multiple modules, multiple build.gradles, and it gets a little unwieldy. So I set forth today. I was like, hey, only spending an hour or so just banging around with it, and I was able to get it working. Um, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Um, but basically, I was able to put in my JS dependencies, um, all the React stuff, and then create some new tasks. I'm not really quite sure yet if these are working, but I do know that I can serve React now. So, in case you're having issues with this, I eventually had to find the the JS run task under other, and just clicking that and adding uh, the continuous flag to it made it so that I could actually just do development real time, like I would do with like Webpack, like with the actually with a lot like the Kotlin React front end project that's going around. Um, so instead, I can use what's being recommended now because I think they've deprecated that front end project structure. And what I have here is I have a very simple React page, and I'm pulling all my book titles. Very cool. Um, so was able to get the React working, which was nice. And one added benefit of this, with my old project structure, you can change stuff on the fly, and your code um, would show it. So if I take this project here, let me get the screen down and come here, and let me make some changes. Let me shrink this guy down so you can see. Just like when you're programming regular React, right? And you have Webpack handling all the changes to your reflecting the code, your code changes. It's doing the same thing here for me. Um, wasn't a lot of configuration. Um, it just started working real nicely. Added benefit: my old project would never ref, refresh the browser on the fly for styles. And it's not a big deal because you don't change styles that often, right? But for whatever reason, with the implementation that JetBrains is using now, with the new version, it just works, which is great. I was so happy when I just said it, didn't even really pay attention. Like, wait a minute, my style's changed. I was expecting to have to reload, and as you can see, just give it a second, let's do it on its own. That's pretty cool. So I got the React working under the project, and that was pretty interesting. And I was able to get the continuous, which you see here, and the SCSS changes happening, which is wonderful. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm like, on my other projects, I was using Axios to handle the REST calls. I was using an old Kotlin wrapper for Axios that's been around for a couple of years. And I'm like, I'd love to get coroutines working. Let me eliminate this Axios library and just really use coroutines. And sure enough, man, documentation, you gotta thank JetBrains. What I was able to do is basically, um, let's get to my code here. On my did mount, I was able to basically call function. I mean, I could have put this all up here, but I was playing around with things. Main scope, launch, and then I just have a simple suspend function that's working off of window.fetch, and it's even using my serialization out of the box, which is real nice. So when I get my data back, just very easy for me to actually turn these into bookTTO objects, and then basically set the state, and then the state updates. So if you watch here, you might see the waiting on server for a second. Boom. There it is. Very, very cool. Here, I can slow it down for you so you can see the coroutines actually doing what they're supposed to do. Network, we'll make this a slow 3G connection. But even then, it's going to be very fast. But you can see when the page finally loads, waiting on server, it's just making the call out to my server, and then bam, there's the data. So there you have it. Coroutines and React um, on a cute little Ktor REST server, all on multi-platform. One build.gradle, not multiple modules. Very, very, very cool stuff. Oh, and if you do go to the repo that's in the that's been mentioned before on these videos, I'm just on a generic repo branch. I actually wanted to build out some generic repos in the project just because right now I'm just new with the using expose, so it's very rudimentary. Um, if you can see, I created a little bootstrap here, and I got all these transactions. No, I got use cases, and I got all these transactions, um, one after the other, and I'm going to try and basically build out a generic repo to handle my models here. And what'll be nice about that is I think I can get rid of some of this boilerplate because you can see here transaction, transaction, transaction. But that's all. Any questions? Leave a comment. Thank you.